Welcome back. You're watching Capital Connection, and of course we are discussing the post-election scenario. Before the break, we were talking about the challenges for Imran Khan, particularly on the foreign policy front, that how he will be able to deal with all kinds of challenges. So Mr. Naseem Siddiqui, the question even before the break that I asked, that advantage Imran Khan do you think has at the moment? Because in the eyes of people or his supporters, some people believe that he is a true patriot. Even if he talks to Narendra Modi, he will not compromise on Pakistan's national interest. Do you think that this is really good for Pakistan, and he can take really advantage of this perception that he has at the moment?
Absolutely right, because as you said, that people have got confidence in him. They know that he will not compromise. So that's the way he can proceed with India. If he can make relations good with India, that would be better for Pakistan as well, and for the people of Pakistan as well. Because whenever there is a Bollywood film, people are rushing towards the cinemas. So they like the culture of India as well. We have got like brotherhood with them as well, most of the families.
But do you think that he will be allowed to independently pursue his foreign policy, Mr. West?
No, not really.
I mean, in a sense that once and let him taste the taste of power. And then we will see that what kind of a balance he creates with the military establishment on key issues, on sensitive issues, whether it be India, whether it be America, whether it be Afghanistan, how independent he can be, and who's prime minister, who he is going to appoint as foreign minister, and how he can create that balance. We have to have equilibrium, and we can't say that you cannot consult military establishment because they are not part of the government. No, you have to consult with them because they share intelligence information with Afghanistan, with India, with America. They are privy to everything, but at the same time their lens is entirely different, and the civilian establishment's lens to look at foreign policy is different. There has to be a combo, and that's where we are lacking. In a sense, there should not be any ego.
But we do know Imran Khan's position on certain issues. You talked about that power has its own dynamics, and since now he becomes the prime minister,
he comes up with simple solutions.
He's a changed person, but I don't think so that his supporters really like to see that change, because they want that he will still, talk upfront when it comes to relations with the US. He was opposed to the drone strikes.
He has to adopt
he was
the diplomatic
always,
tone.
opposed to
he can't
US
be aggressive,
invasion.
he can't be like
in
Afghanistan. Look at the Trump.
Do you think that he would follow
Look at the Trump. He can throw his military establishment under the bus when it comes to negotiations with Russia. Yeah. At the same time, next day he apologizes
to his nation. That is possible? No, but do you think that you are comparing him with Trump?
I'm not comparing with him. But what I'm trying to suggest,
as he has been taking
that he has got massive following, and they are like his disciples. So they're going to believe him, and that's the positive he is carrying with him. So I think that the more convincing he is in his negotiations with the neighboring countries, the more he will gain the confidence.
Yeah, for example, challenges like FATF, for example, is right in front of you after a few months.
Yeah.
So people will always ask him that, for example, XYZ party has got so many votes, or these many people got elected into the parliament, for example. So those are the challenges. Energy, if he can take care of, let's look ahead, like 1 year. If he can manage, because it is going to be winter, so it's going to be a little easier for him. If he can manage the energy crisis to a certain limit,
exactly.
Foreign policy should be robust and should be so aggressive. He should have a lot of, and involve the foreign expatriates who are living abroad, like you, for that matter. Bring them in the main limelight, and address. For example, Chaudhry Sarwar, I remember, was the overseas minister in Musharraf's time, right? Minister for overseas Pakistanis. And he's very brilliant, and he's been elected again. So Shah Mahmood could be a foreign minister. So you need to be very aggressive, and you need to have the right people for the right job. Forget about that he's close to me and he's a cousin of mine, or somebody's requesting me to make Mr. X the minister or something.
But the issue is that Imran Khan himself is facing issue of perception outside world. Look at the, foreign press. I don't think so that I come across a
So
single
that
article
those stories who are at the
where
main page
the
will be at the back page.
Western media
It
has
is going
really
to get
praised
eroded.
Imran
This
Khan
perception is going to
because
get eroded
they have
with the
this
time.
fear that Imran Khan is somehow a Taliban sympathizer, which is, of course, that
He
somehow
always
is a
believed in
misperception.
talks.
He has
Do you
to-
think that how he can really dispel that impression?
Americans
He
are-
has to erase that image, and that is going to play such an important role. I believe that he is fluent in the English language. He knows the psyche, the mindset of
He's
the
lived
Western
abroad, he understands,
society,
yeah, the dynamics of
Western
everything.
community. So he.
But why
he,
is getting that bad press? Otherwise,
No, in the sense that it matters. Like, for example, if you choose.
Pakistanis, it's-
if
So you know how
if
media
if
works everywhere.
If you choose Raham
Western
Khan,
media is
Raham
always
Khan,
against Pakistan.
Raham Khan
It
as
never
an
praises.
expert on Imran Khan's life on an international channel, then you're mistaken, and you carrying it's very subjective. So I believe that it's not the matter of international press. Even for our mainstream media, they picked the stories which were against Imran Khan. I think it's, to be very honest with you, he's
A very biased
always
approach.
gotten press.
no, but
very
I'm talking
good
about,
press.
it is important because that also reflects the mindset. Some people think that the international, the lobbies are upset because look that here now Pakistanis
he-
elected a prime minister who will not compromise,
Kamran, what he has
who
to
will
change-
not compromise
what he has
on the
to change-
national
what he
interest.
has
He
to
doesn't have
change.
any
For
interests
example-
outside Pakistan.
For example, Kamran, we all know what he needs to change. For example, he was in favor of negotiating with Taliban. He used to call them as our angry people, and we have to sort of
Negotiate.
bring them into
Bring them onto the table of
mainstream.
negotiation.
That's what the US did
He
afterwards.
even said that
Still are.
we
Yeah,
should
still
give them an access or sort of
Allow them
help
to have a political office even.
help them setting up offices even in Peshawar on the same day when churches witness deadly twin suicide attacks. So I'm thinking he has made mistakes. He has to cover a certain distance. At the same time, he has to erase that image, because I personally think Pakistan's existence को खतरा है if there is single major threat to Pakistan's existence.
what happened after
is
Second World War?
extremism
All
and
European
militancy.
countries,
And
they sit
he
down
has to
together.
deal with that, and he has to present a formula, and he has to negotiate with everyone in Pakistan, because it's a collective responsibility. It's not only a responsibility of security forces, it's not only a responsibility of Imran Khan or Zardari or Nawaz Sharif, it's a collective responsibility of us as well to eliminate extremism and militancy from this country, and that
And
is
I think
personally
one
the
positive-
biggest challenge, and it's going to
And
be
I think
a
one
long battle.
positive Imran Khan has, this also gives people who living even outside Pakistan and even his supporters some kind of self-belief. People are saying that now he is going to be the most attractive and charming prime minister in the world. So such
He has that charisma,
Such things
there's no
can
doubt about
also
that.
work in his
Charisma,
favor. Do you
yeah.
think that is a positive that can really not only he can help him to dispel the
That will
impression
excel,
about his
that will
ideology,
excel, exactly.
but also raise the image of Pakistan as well at the international level? Do you think?
I think in the presence of Imran Khan, to be very honest, he can speak well, he understands. He has been in politics for almost 22 years now, 1996 till
Yes,
2018. And he's a much changed man. He was very arrogant, when he was a cricketer, he was so proud and all, he would never shake hands and all. But now things are changing. I think he's learning over, he's about over 65 years old now, things are changing. Now, second point that, is he, I think he is the best representation of Pakistan at the moment. The true Pakistan. He's very patriotic, always in shalwar kameez. That's something very interesting. And I was actually looking at his pictures of his
And
wedding,
people say
and
that
he
he
was
looks,
always been
looks
wearing.
genuine. He can relate to the
And
people.
on top, imagine 537. This was the number I just was watching TV this morning, and 537 people are working to look after the Prime Minister in the Prime Minister House. 537.
Yeah.
537, imagine. That's the number of people you normally call on a baraat or something, right? Imagine just for one person. If he says that, we'll cut down the expense and everything, he is going to set an example. I have a very strong belief, I have a very strong faith in him. There will be challenges because the way he is looking at things, he has a very different approach, but he
in
will learn
Pakistan,
with
how
time.
system works,
First
people are
year
still-
is going to be
listen,
so important.
You know that how system in Pakistan works, already people are saying that his idea of converting Prime Minister House into some kind of educational institution may not be workable
political
because
statement,
there are
I would
security issues, because that's now he has to cross that hurdle.
Sir,
because
once he
some
becomes the Prime
bureaucrats would
Minister,
come in and tell him that, okay, you
his
can't do
driver
that.
to go through that river.
Okay, you can't do
right?
that.
He
Okay.
has to go through a procedure, and
Okay,
that is
our
what he has
debate,
to
because
learn.
this is all issues are debatable, and our debate will continue, because that's it. That's the time that actually we have. Many thanks indeed, Mr. Owais Tawheed, Faisal Rahman, and Mr. Naseem Siddiqui. That's it from this edition of Capital Connection. Thanks for watching.